do they mean when they talk about natural resources? They talk about unnatural resources, like the oil, the coal, and the natural gas that was deposited down there from a time when the world was chaotic, when life was not possible. This kind of energy we call natural resources, and that is exactly what we are releasing to the atmosphere and causing all the changes of climate. So they are not natural resources. The natural resources are the energy coming from the sun. And the sun creates 12,000 times more energy to the surface of Earth than is needed for all human energy needs.
The process of self-realization, which ultimately leads to the sense of oneness, oneness with all humanity, oneness with all universe, oneness with all manifestation of universe.
But basically that's the idea we'll be exploring, how forgetting to connect with ourselves, we lose touch with the truth that we are, and so we create falsehood around ourselves also.
We have the resources, we have the inner resources that we need to address this problem. And when you talk about working with the forces of nature, we do not have to import some magical trick from the beyond, but we do have to get out of the way. We have to remove obstacles.
In other words, what was disharmonic in a certain sense became harmonic, because what I had never been taught, you see, despite 2 graduate degrees in political science and a theological degree and all the rest, I didn't understand the basics, and neither do millions upon millions of my fellow evangelicals in the United States, that you see, stewardship, which doesn't mean raising enough money for your church. I mean, that's a bad definition of stewardship. That's man's definition. God's definition is a relationship, and I've heard it from each one of you in different ways. It's a relationship that is with God or the divine. It's a relationship that exists in myself. I must steward myself. I must also steward the resources that have been given me for others, others that may not even be born yet. And lastly, I must steward a relationship between all of the created order, including creatures, animals, flora and fauna. And so that fourfold relationship of stewardship, when you have it, as much as you attempt to seek it and must, that rightful stewardship that you've been given from God and is taught from Genesis in the first book of the Bible all the way to the last book of the Bible, when you do that, in my estimation, you begin to have the kind of inner climate and outer climate that you must have.
But since I today am not that essential divinity, I am part of the cosmos, experiencing myself separate, have lost my natural relationship of oneness with the whole, and crave out of lack, desire out of need, and possess out of disconnection. When I recover my deeper identity, or at least experience the glow of that sense of oneness within me, all of these distortions vanish. I know myself as part of one whole. And ultimately, the present climate crisis is a symptom of this disconnect. The correction is not just governmental policy changes. Yes, those are necessary, but they're not enough. They only postpone the problem or modify it. The long-term solution is for us as a collective humanity to recover our deeper sense of oneness to whatever degree. And it is only in this deeper oneness that all our conflicts and crises will find their resolution.
If we just live with despair, with suffering, without hope, that is pessimistic point of view. If we just hope without being aware of the problem we are facing, that is optimistic approach. But if we are aware of the problems we are facing regarding the survival of the planet and look for the way out, try to find a way out, work together. That is realistic approach. We won't live just in dream and hope, expectation, without solution, without effort.
It's only with the people we can go forward. It's only with action that we can go ahead. With talking, we will never achieve anything.
Venerable Phra Dharmakosachar of Thailand said that there are many ways that we can look at the environmental issue. From what I understand, he was telling us that we cannot wait for someone else to do something. But we as citizens must be equally proactive and look at the climate issue and take action. If this is understood by all of us, that we as individuals can collectively do something about the environment, then a global movement will begin, and I think this is happening.
We all do our spiritual work privately, but what can we do collectively? That's why we're here in Copenhagen, to see what we can do collectively. And I must say we have a wonderful outcome for this week for our delegation. We've come together to form the World Spiritual Leaders Forum to address climate change.
I think this is going to be the first time, as far as I know, that different world tradition of religions are going to express solidarity collectively on a global issue. It means that global warming or climate change is going to unite us together.
Ilaspade samitya se sanova sunya